Episode 272 of the TV Dudes, recorded February 26, 2020, Hulu Hoop.
Hula Hoop.
Hulu Hoop. It's not easy to pronounce. Les gave me that title, and I realized I was saying it. It's not easy to pronounce.
Please bring me a hula hoop.
No, Hulu Hoop.
Man, I used to be able to do the chipmunk voice so well.
So it is time to check up on Hulu is up to. We're checking out on their gender flip remake of a beloved 90s John Cusack movie, a dystopian YA musical featuring Snoop Dogg as the voice of a computer. Yes, and you heard all of that right. You're not having a stroke. And Fox's new animated show from Amy Poehler and Mike Schur. So we're talking High Fidelity, Utopia Falls, and Duncanville.
You know my favorite thing about talking Hulu with you, Randy?
What's that?
You think every show is on Hulu.
Look,
because they throw in like
I name
NBC
check Fox.
shows.
I name checks Fox, but these two are legitimately Hulu
See,
originals.
half the time I think these are Hulu originals just because like Hulu aggregates things from other channels.
Yeah, I mean, they don't still put stuff on networks, do they? And that was all streaming. Is that not true?
Yeah, I assumed that like Hulu telling me the stations that they were on.
What they were on,
quote,
yeah,
was
back
just
in
this
the
nod back to
20th century.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Like the way we all
Hulu,
still have
Lego
area-
Masters, Hulu.
Yeah, before Utopia fell. Anyway, before we get to all that, though, we are the TV Dudes. I'm Randy,
I'm Les.
And I'm Kyle.
and it is time for Hank's Watch.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Exciting news, Kyle. You want to
Yes.
break it to the people?
Yeah, it is. It is finally upon us. Moments of preparation, and I say moments. Really, it's been going on weeks. But honestly, when you put a moment each week of energy into it,
Look, you put goodwill out of the universe, and it comes back to you.
I mean, less than an hour's worth of goodwill invested, but I think we've gotten a full-on Hank's return.
I'm very excited about this.
Do you guys just want to jump into this?
Let's just jump straight into
Because
it.
it is a little different. All right,
Let's do it.
Okay. This is Tom Hanks Presents The TV Dudes, Top 5, presented by The TV Dudes.
That's right. Official Tom Hanks. The official Tom Hanks countdown top 5.
Yes.
Yeah, so each week we are going to crunch the numbers from Metacritic, IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and we're going to find the ultimate ranking of all the different TV shows that we talk about here on the podcast. Top 5.
And you guys may be thinking, well, how's Tom Hanks involved? And here's how Tom Hanks is involved. We have not gotten a specific letter or phone call from any kind of legal representation telling us not to use Tom Hanks' name on this.
We're just honoring a great man by naming our top 5 after him.
We feel like once Tom Hanks gets wind of this, he's going to be very excited and be very happy to be officially. He may come into the intro for us. We don't know. But clearly, you don't get anything done without taking some bold moves. And this is a bold move.
There is a conference room here at the Permanent Record Studios with crazy Unabomber notes taped up on the walls everywhere. And written on that dry erase board somewhere is Tom Hanks would be the nicest man to be sued by.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So bring it on. But before then, what do you think the number 5 show right now is
So
far for this year?
based on rankings of Metacritic, IMDb, and Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, so you take all of those rankings and you get a 400-point scale. And then we can take everything we've seen and we can rank.
So it is only the top 5 of the stuff we've talked about.
Yep. So if we haven't mentioned it on the show, we can't put it on the list.
Okay.
Part of me was thinking we should do like a grab bag episode where we just mention like 20 things.
I was about to
just
say,
to,
like, just gonna,
throw them in the rankings.
Every
Man.
week, one of us is just going to spew out 10 show names with no context.
I don't even have a guess. I have no
Well,
idea.
so I will go ahead and say this. For people who are familiar with like cinema top 5, top 5 grossing box office, this works a little different because this is the top 5 rankings, which means we just had a great show like The Good Place, which is ranked really high. it probably ain't moving all year.
Right.
So, I mean, there is a potential that we have, similar shows in the top 5.
Right.
But I think there's some other things we can do with the list. I'm sure, we'll make Mr. Hanks proud.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is we are going to pay homage to the man who made Turner.
He doesn't just put his name on anything.
No.
He definitely didn't put his name on this.
but we did.
Yeah. So coming in at number 5, 347 out of 400, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
All right.
Nice.
On Hulu.
Right, yeah.
The Hulu original.
show, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, yes.
9-9.
No, it's holding down the number 5 spot.
Okay.
And there's not a huge variance between this and our number 1 show, which is a 368 out of 400.
Okay.
Okay.
So the kids that are vying for valedictorian here, it's within like that 10th of a point. Mm-hmm. If any of these shows fuck up like one English test,
Yeah, this is like the politician.
Yeah.
Shank each other.
yeah.
All right. So number 4, if you're going to guess any of them on the list, you're going to guess this one.
The Good Place.
Yeah. The Good Place.
Now, is this all going to be networky stuff? Like streaming's on here too, right?
Oh,
Any
it's
show we
everything.
talked about.
Okay,
Anything
that's
we
what I thought,
talked
yeah.
about.
Okay, all right, that's
Lego
what I thought.
Masters is on here. There was a couple of shows that just totally got screwed over because they either didn't have a Metacritic rating
Okay.
or something else just skewed really weird.
Okay.
I know Letterkenny was one of those shows.
Just didn't have a Metacritic rating?
Yeah, Letterkenny didn't have Metacritic. Heck, a couple shows had like 0s for audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Does Metacritic maybe hate Canada?
Mm,
I think it's possible.
there you go.
Until I hear otherwise, that's what I believe.
Well, and you do this as long as I have, a whole couple minutes here, and
Yeah.
you start to see cracks in the system.
Oh, yeah.
Like some shows, they may have less ratings, but the ratings will be super high.
Yeah.
And then other shows that Les likes, we just don't even know what's going on with those. He talks about them, and we're like, what the hell, Les? So no, this list, it's not just the network stuff, and the network stuff isn't going to be ranked the highest just because it's network.
Okay, all right.
There's actually some upsets in here, some surprises.
All right, so we've got our number 1. No.
So number 5,
Yep.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Got it.
All right.
Number 4,
Yep.
The Good Place.
All right, so Mike Schur and crew are representing so far.
Oh, yeah, which I'm not surprised.
No, that makes sense.
I ain't surprised. Now, here's where some people are going to have their hearts broken,
Little
okay?
Bachelor action.
So The Good Place has a 350 out of 400.
Okay.
Okay.
Our number 3 TV show has a 351 out
Oh.
of 400.
Very close.
I would never guess this in a million years, all right? Who's the guy who does the racist Indian accent?
Oh, Hank Azaria?
Well, not anymore. He's refusing.
Yes,
Our number 3 show.
Brockmeyer?
Brockmeyer.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
that-
can't believe it. I
that is a
love
shocker.
Brockmeyer, and I still
Yeah.
can't believe it edges out those
Beat
other two.
The
though.
Good Place.
That is
And
a
Brooklyn
shocker.
9-9. I'm shocked.
As of recording this, I've like double checked the numbers and
We're about
everything.
to start that final season, though.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That is
So
insane.
IFC is kicking the ass of NBC. That's not that's new. That's news.
Yeah, it is news.
Hooray for the little guy.
We're breaking it here. No, the next two kind of predictable. Number 2 with a score of 357 out of 400. Mm-hmm. It's Lego Masters with Will no, not Lego Masters.
What?
BoJack Horseman.
Oh, okay.
The other Will Arnett show.
That is some La La Land shit to pull, dude.
Yeah, no. BoJack Horseman, I think, liked this number 1 show.
Yeah.
The people who like that show really like it.
Also, it was its final season, so I'm sure it was like on people's minds.
I did put that on here too, just for the record. So Brooklyn Nine-Nine, this is season 7, and the score does break down by season. I think IMDb lumps them all together.
Okay.
But Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes do by season.
Okay.
Good Place, that was season 4.
Yep.
So season 7 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. 999.
9-9.
9-9. Season 4 of The Good Place. Brockmeyer season 3, and then season 6 of BoJack.
Okay, and our number 1 show.
What's a show that like people would stab each other over? A real saucy show.
Pimple popper.
Who's got the? I'm just leading you guys even further away, guys. It's Rick and Morty.
Oh, all right.
Season
all right.
4.
It is, yeah.
I was going to go Milf Island.
Yeah. I mean, when people line up outside of a McDonald's for Szechuan sauce,
Or ask the poor workers for Szechuan sauce.
yeah, they're probably
You
going
gotta
on Metacritic and skewing those numbers a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. All right, so run it down again, Kyle. 5-1.
Yeah, so number 5 is season 7 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine over on NBC now. Number 4 is Mike Schur again, season 4 of The Good Place over on NBC. Number 3 on our top 5 is going to be season 3 of Brockmire on IFC. Number 2 is BoJack Horseman, holding strong. And then number 1 is Rick and Morty, which that is a super high score. Unless people just start going on there and slamming them on the internet.
So I don't know about you, Les, but I hear 4 Hulu shows and a Netflix show.
Yes.
Hulu is representing.
Yeah, so it's time. So we should go back and talk about Hulu because clearly they're dominating.
We really did get
And
a
again-
Hulu Hoop for Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Hanks, for
Indeed.
your sponsorship of this top 5. We really appreciate it.
Tom Hanks presents the TV Dudes Top 5 presented by the TV Dudes.
Yep, I'm excited for this to be a segment every week. I think
Indeed.
it's going to be great.
Hanks watch.
All right, so reminder, we have a Patreon. You can go over to patreon.com/tvdudes. Throw us $1 an episode if you can, and that helps keep us in streaming network services, website updates, all that kind of stuff. All that money goes right back into the show. It keeps us able to do all this stuff. We really appreciate our patrons. You get Patreon exclusive content on our on the Patreon feed. So if you're paying that $1 an episode, every week you get 2 episodes. You get the regular TV Dudes episode, and then you get an episode of us talking about, I don't know, right now, Star Wars. Lots of Star Wars.
Lots of Star Wars.
But we got some other stuff. Like we got a fun bracket system where we pitched Jeff
versus
Goldblum
Goldblum.
against Goldblum, and I think there was another actor in that mix.
And there's also the.
Keanu. Wasn't it Goldblum versus Keanu, maybe?
I think we just did Goldblum.
Did we just do Goldblum on Goldblum?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but we got other bracket ideas.
We got other
too.
bracket ideas.
We're going to
did
be bringing
the
more of
Buy
these
Your
in.
Rights shows. Those
Yeah.
were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So get some bonus content, help the TV Dudes. It's a win-win.
We got that Tom Hanks Legal Defense Fund to set up, too.
Oh, yeah, we can't do it without you guys.
Let us go and talk about our first show this week, which is High Fidelity.
Now, this is Hulu. This is all Hulu, right?
Yes, this is the actual Hulu network, not to be confused with all the other networks that Hulu takes credit for.
I don't know about you guys. I was a little wary of this show. I was like, because I love the novel and I fucking adore the movie. Like I've seen that movie so many times. I know every beat of it. And it was so perfect. And it was set in Chicago. It had John Cusack, had a great cast. And also it was in the 90s and dating and that kind of stuff has changed. And I'm like, man, is this going to be just like, are we just going to hate this?
I still love the movie, and I've rewatched it recently.
Me too.
But Rob in the movie is kind of a toxic nice guy. Like, why aren't you with me? I'm a nice guy.
For sure. For sure.
Like he learned, and his character grows, and he does learn some lessons by the end of the movie. But I'm not going to say it aged badly. But I have less tolerance for how charming Rob is. At this point.
And Jack Black's character too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
this is
here's the thing. I love that movie, and I rewatched it recently. I showed it to someone who had not seen it, and she really enjoyed it. But we definitely, she's watching it. We had watched Say Anything, which is John Cusack as like an actual nice guy. Lloyd Dobler is what you want a guy to be, and then she really liked him, and then we were watching him as Rob. And it's like, yeah, I like Lloyd Dobler better. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Lloyd is actually a nice guy. Rob is a nice guy TM.
Yeah. So when they announced that they were going to gender flip this, that was a huge positive step.
Yep.
When they announced that they got a lot of the folks that were Scott Rosenberg is involved with this show again, Josh Applebaum,
Andre
Nemec, so Midnight Rodeo, like all those guys are involved again, which I thought was great. I got a little bit more confident in it.
The gender flip. You guys just nailed it because that is probably the going into the show. That is the biggest apprehension that I have because it doesn't quite work the same way. A hopeless romantic man
right?
versus a hopeless romantic woman. They each kind of come with their own type of cliche story. So then to circumvent the cliches, you start to expect different things.
And it's got to be it's a burned out hopeless romantic. It's someone who's gotten kind of bitter about romance because of their perceived failures at it. Mm-hmm. And that also brings a different kind of energy. And I think, honestly, it's easier to do with a woman. But the trick then is you still want to make her likable but in an unlikable way.
Yeah. Because it's not as simple I mean, yes, gender flipping it keeps you from having the white male Rob, nice guy, PM bullshit.
Which could be really unpleasant.
Is great. But you can't simply make Zoe Kravitz do a bunch of shitty white dude stuff.
No, she's got to do her
from the 90s. Like she's got to do
her own
thing.
shitty stuff.
Yeah.
And that to me is the magic of what this show did. They flip a lot of things.
Yeah.
They nod towards a lot of things, and then they just straight do the exact scene from the movie on a lot of things.
There's straight up dialogue that's, I mean, it is like, so if you know the movie, you're like, oh, this is actually just, it's the same dialogue.
So sometimes they'll nod towards something where you just kind of put your hand over your heart and you're like, oh yeah, that's great. Y'all remember that. And then sometimes they just do the scene.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they do a scene from the book that wasn't, that didn't make the movie.
Yeah.
Also, the gender isn't the only thing that flipped in order to make it not only more contemporary, but I think work a lot better. And I'm talking about the music. All of the songs were kind of, the references were updated to fit a character that would be her age today.
For sure.
And, you know, funny enough, in 2000, I was working at Blockbuster Video, and I remember when this thing came out, we used to like get the posters afterwards, and there'd be like kind of like a lottery of it. So like the good posters would go quick. Nobody wanted this poster. So I had a John Cusack High Fidelity poster up on the wall.
So I think one of the key things on this, though, is that Rob has to be kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
But has to be an asshole you kind of like. And that's why it works in the movie, because John Cusack is a lovable dude, even when he's playing a douchebag. Zoe Kravitz is the same way. Like, she is awful to some of her partners, and she is not
just a
great to
train
her
wreck.
friends.
She also makes awful decisions when she could make good decisions.
Right.
Yeah, she's
But
just a train wreck.
You're rooting for her the whole time because you're like, you know what? She wants to be a good person. She's trying to self-improve here. Like it's
Well, and they also do, which it's been a while since I've seen the original movie. But no, the point earlier I was going to say the songs. It's nice to know the songs they're talking about now, which wasn't the case back in 2000. But no, they do this thing too where everything that we're supposed to dislike about her, we kind of get that parsed out throughout the season. And it isn't until the final episode where we kind of have the full story as to really what she's done, what she's been through.
Yeah. Also, the sporting cast around her is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
So
this is going to be a fun part to talk about.
Man.
Divine Joy Randolph. Okay. I don't know how they found the black female Jack Black.
They did.
But they did.
They did. Because I kept thinking that the whole time.
In her introduction scene, she nods to it. Like she does the full Jack Black dance. And it was just enough of like, I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm here. And then from now on, I am Charisse. Or I'm Charisse. Like,
And the thing is, like, she still has the same energy. As she's obnoxious sometimes, but you love her. Like, it is the same Jack Black energy, but it's a black woman, and it works so well. Like the little flips they make, like there's an easy way to screw this up. There's a way to make her a cliche. There's a way to make her
really annoying.
There's a way to make her too much like Jack Black, where it's just it's like, why didn't you just get somebody?
Yeah, when you watch this, you don't go, oh, she's doing that character.
Yeah, no,
it takes you a few episodes before you're like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, of course. The same spirit is there with both of them. I also think before Jack Black, before like Shallow Hal, and we got what we know now as Jack Black, he was this type of character actor who could switch between kind of serious and scary, like, oh, this guy's pissed off, what's wrong with him, to like really silly and goofy.
Yeah.
And she did that at times, especially when she was being protective of her friends.
For me, Jack Black came from Mr. Show.
Yeah, sure.
And so like the High Fidelity character was like right in his wheelhouse, and so I was really concerned how they were going to find any actor to try to match that energy.
So let's talk Simon, played by David H. Holmes, who, by the way, what a great little flip.
Yes.
Simon is Simon in the original movie. There was this back and forth between Jack Black and the other actor whose name I don't remember, but they like had this love-hate thing where one of them was really quiet and one of them was really loud, and they were just, it was sort of a different, like their relationship with Rob was
Bell and Sebastian.
Yeah.
Are we?
their relationship to Rob was they both worked for Rob. their relationship with each other was that they kind of got on each other's nerves. But they flipped this so that Simon is on Rob's top 4 and finds out he's gay. And now they're still like best buds, and he's the one who started working for her. And so there's this. So they add queerness into the show right off the bat, which is great. And
Todd Luiso played Dick.
Okay.
In the original movie.
And he's one of those that guys. I've seen him in a ton of stuff.
Oh yeah, he's in everything from that time.
You are not the principal of Community or the dean of Community.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But Simon being gay changes things considerably.
Yes.
And but the funny thing is, even though it does change things considerably, they still manage to do almost note for note some of the stuff between him and Charisse, some of the stuff between him and Rob. Like it all works. And when we got to episode 8 and we flipped and we saw his point of view and he was the narrator all of a sudden, that blew my mind. And that was like, oh shit, I want season 2 of this show right now. Like I was like, you're not going to just do one story. Like you can do this. Like I kind of wish I wanted 9 to be Charisse's episode.
Yeah, and I feel like season 2, that to me is the thing that they really left out there for season 2. I want to see Barry Jive in the Uptown 5. I want to see her.
Yeah, for sure.
I really liked the flip they did on the kids that are the band.
Yeah.
That was
a
nice.
good episode.
Yeah.
I thought for sure we were going to get that Charisse episode.
I did too.
Especially after that little reveal with her.
But there was a lot to be done in that last 2.
Yeah, and they gave her a really good moment at the end of the series, or at the end of the season. Who's the actor, the homosexual who is on her top 5 list?
That's David H. Holmes.
They gave him so many good things to do in here.
Oh, yeah.
I could mention 50 of them, but my favorite is when she's freaking out about the new girlfriend. They do a great episode where she's like imagining what this like frosé drinking, new chick is like. And she comes into the record store and he just tosses his phone over and he goes, there. And it's a picture of her.
Yeah.
And she looks. And she's not satisfied. You're never going to be satisfied.
No.
But he's like, do you feel better now that you know? And she didn't feel better, but she quit, thinking about it.
Spiraling. Yeah.
And he knew exactly what she needed.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's such a good friend.
Okay, the moment I want to mention, I think Les is about to mention it. Go ahead.
Well, so in the movie they have a character where she goes back to try to rehash the relationship and why we broke up, who's like, no, you dumped me. I'm like, oh, okay, well then this wasn't my fault.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And what they do with Simon, with David H. Holmes, kind of flips that moment. They have her going through this whole list, crawling back through these old boyfriends and breakups and stuff. And when it gets to Simon, he looks at her and like, am I on your stupid list?
Yeah.
We didn't break up. I'm gay. Like, we didn't break up.
He's like, I see you every day.
Yes. Oh, God. His whole rant on, like, we have exactly the same relationship we had while we were dating.
We're just not having sex.
We just stopped having sex because I am gay.
And the kicker is he's like, take me off your fucking list.
Yes.
And it's not like he's mad at her either. It's that sort of exhausted with your friend. Come, take me off your fucking list. What's wrong with you?
I'm glad that you just mentioned the list because we haven't even given the synopsis of this show. Like, people who weren't around in 2000.
You're right. We should say
they don't know that before the internet.
This movie was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now top 5 list. Heck, we just did a top 5 list.
Yeah.
We should have themed that with High Fidelity.
So So High Fidelity was this movie about it was a novel by Nick Hornby that was written in the 80s, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then the movie was made, or maybe the 90s. I think it was the 90s.
And then the movie was made in the late
2000. And this is a point where record stores, there was still going concern. There were still people buying CDs and physical media and all that kind of stuff. And you made mixtapes. And this is about a guy who was so obsessed with music that he made mixtapes for his lovers. And in the mix of that was that he basically became this owner of this record store. But he had a lot of misfortune in love. And his love of making top 5 lists of music and whatever else led him to make a top 5 breakup list. And then decide to revisit those breakups and figure out what went wrong so we can do better going forward.
Yeah, it's about not constantly looking back at the past and ranking it and actually getting excited about something going forward.
Yeah. And so in this brave new world, vinyl is a niche thing. They and this is a beautiful update, by the way, because it all still works. It all still feels like Nick Hornby's book. But they all use Spotify. Their playlists are playlists.
Somebody walks in and uses Shazam.
That was very realistic because I hate when they do this type of thing where it's like, oh no, only records. It's like, no, they'll take a record off, plug a phone in, and they'll go back and forth.
They're still making a top 5 playlist on Spotify, but then also when the guy really when Simon really cares about kind of hitting on somebody,
Yeah.
he makes an actual mixtape.
He makes an actual mixtape because they're still music nerds.
And then they show Saturday's place is packed.
Yeah.
You get the whole
still
yuppie
hopping.
hipster crowd like
Yeah,
in there.
sure.
So there's no like, because TV shows do this where it's like, no way this 19-year-old's the art director for Vogue magazine.
How is this
and-
magazine still working?
and
Yeah.
has a loft apartment in New York they don't pay any rent
Right.
for. Like, no, this seemed very realistic that she would have her shop kind of in this place.
So let's also talk about the switch. Chicago was the setting for High Fidelity and for a lot of Hornby's books, I believe. They switched to New York.
Hornby's book was. I assumed it would be set.
You're
London.
right. It's in London.
Yeah, 'cause
the
he's
book's
Brit.
in London. The show they moved.
No, it's because of
they moved the
Cusack
movie.
that they moved the movie.
They moved the movie to Chicago. They moved the TV show to New York, and it works in all three locales. And
Yeah.
her apartment looks a lot like Rob's apartment in the movie.
To a frightening degree. Like they really, you didn't need to block it the same way,
No.
but it is one of a million ways in which the show nods so nicely at the movie that you get a weird chill.
The amount
Yeah.
of love that these guys clearly had for this movie and this book is so evident in this.
So
the care they took with it.
The first thing Fanny said when we were watching it together was, and we've been straight through it, which is rare for her to watch
Yeah.
TV like that, was, oh, wow, we're going to see 1 million of these now.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be, take every 80s, 90s, early 2000s movie that might be problematic now and fix everything about it in an 8 to 10 episode show.
Yeah.
We're going to see this tried so many times and it's not going to work as well as this just did.
Yeah, for sure. This was the proof of concept. You're right. That's going to launch 1,000 shitty remakes.
Yeah.
So we haven't even talked, by the way, about Mac or Clyde.
No, it's Clyde in the
yeah.
book. Like I've not read the book.
It's been a long time since I've read the book. I think Clyde is a big addition. So
He's fantastic.
So she breaks up with, or she is broken up with by Mac, her the top number 5 on her top 5 list. That's a year before the
bullet.
show starts. Number 5 with a bullet, and he breaks up with her, moves to London, breaks her heart. And that's what sort of starts her spiraling. And she's out of the dating game for a year. We pick up. She decides to go on a date basically because her mom dared her. I mean, her mom is badgering her, and she's like, "I'm going on a date." And she goes on, an app, finds this guy Clyde, goes to a bar. He seems like kind of he's perfectly nice but boring.
Yeah.
And she's like going to sneak out on him. She leaves her
Oh, it's so
phone.
good.
She has to go back. And then the two of them kind of bond a little bit.
Yeah. It's a very natural, very good scene.
Yeah.
Wasn't that her apartment, though, when she tried to sneak out? I thought that was the
no,
joke.
No,
tries to
he
sneak
starts to
out
sneak out later of her.
Oh.
Well, he doesn't.
That's right. Well, there's kind of the
thought,
myth.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
think he's sneaking out, but yeah, there's a mix-up.
But-
But yeah, they both get burned by their phone a little.
I really liked the relationship with her and Clyde. Like, I thought it was going to be a one-off. I thought this was just like an introductory thing. And then the way they keep playing that out, that's nowhere in the books or the movie as far as I know.
By episode 6, I was like actively not wanting them to end up together.
Yeah.
Not because they weren't fantastic together.
But because Rob treated him like shit.
But because Rob's character had so far to go before she could really be in Clyde's life without wrecking it.
Yeah.
And the final scene with them in this season
Perfect.
is so perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
kind of heartbreaking. That actor Clyde, it's funny, we were doing...
He's in Girls, right?
Yeah, he's in Girls.
He was also in Miss Sloane, and he was a really good addition in there. He played kind of like this male prostitute who has a little bit of a turn towards the end of the movie.
Jake Lacey. That is a boring name.
Can I ask you guys a question about the 2000 John Cusack film?
For sure.
Lisa Bonet is in this, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, was she the lady that he ends up with at the end of the film?
No,
No,
she is
no.
the singer.
The boy toy, the 19-year-old.
Yeah, you know the boy toy in this one?
Yes.
So
yes.
not
she's
Jeff
that.
Buckley?
She's the club singer.
In fact, she is Marie LaSalle, and the bar that the boy toy plays at, that the not Jeff Buckley plays at all the time, is LaSalle's.
Yeah.
So they even nod to Bonet's character.
Speaking of nods, really quick, Kevin Bannister is one of her loves,
yeah.
and Kevin Bannister is the first nemesis of Rob in the movie. I was a little disappointed that Kevin Bannister didn't break up with Rob for Allison, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
They changed that name, and I'm like, oh, you had a chance to do a weird parallel universe thing.
Well, I kept kind of getting those vibes because
Yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, okay, so she's Lisa Bonet's daughter.
Yeah.
So like, if John Cusack got back together with her and then she already had a daughter and raised that girl as his stepdaughter, maybe she would have inherited his record collection and
Right.
set up her own New York record store.
And you say same
And
name.
yeah.
And then you do a camp. You do it's a flip surprise continuation. That's kind of funny.
And then you can bring
Except
some cameos.
It'd be weird if her first breakup was like the son of her father's first breakup, Kevin
Well,
Bannister.
now it's falling apart. Now you ruined it, Randy.
It's possible, but it's weird. But I love this fan theory. I don't think it's been disproven yet, Kyle. I love this fan theory.
Nice.
I also want to quick call out Parker Posey's one episode.
Yes.
Because she's fantastic as this sort of bitter.
And they made that scene for the movie, but it was deleted from what Fanny was telling me. I think
that makes sense because I thought I'd seen it, but I guess I'd probably seen deleted scenes.
I think it's on the DVD or something
Yeah.
from what Fanny was telling me, and that it's in the book.
Yeah.
Where Rob goes to it. I thought it was a nice see it from the other side. Like Rob sees somebody who is doing the most bitter possible petty vengeance breakup you could do, and like, no, you know what? I thought I could do something like this, and I can't be part of this.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was interesting because the record that Clyde gets for.
Yeah.
That's the record that's in the store when the annoying other record store owner comes in.
Yep.
And it's like,
And then that's the record that is spoilers.
Yeah.
And that is the record that is then at the douchebag other record store sitting out front, and that's how she bought Therese the guitar.
Oh, wow. I didn't even catch that.
Okay.
So wow. That was already a great moment, but that makes it even better.
That makes Rob's growth moment really huge.
Yeah.
And Simon Simon clocks it of like the record's gone, and that's how that all worked.
Wow. I didn't catch that.
Well, I felt like the scene where he came in and started asking about it, because you had the Parker Posey scene in there, gave it some more gravity. Like, did some cops come asking about this record?
Right,
now he's like, oh, I know you stole that. Like,
No,
the way they tied it up at the end, I missed that too.
She bought the guitar, and then that's when she tells Charisse, like, hey, I need you to lock up, and there's going to be a delivered. Don't leave before you take that delivery.
Yeah, she wanted.
And that was the guitar was the delivery.
Yeah,
she bought it with the record.
I got the delivery, and that was great.
Yeah.
I never loved Jake more than when he stole the record for her.
Yeah, that was his good. That was his high. Well, and when he stood up for himself at the end.
And when he stood up for himself.
That was pretty good.
That was fantastic.
And honestly, when he spilled the drink and he's like, these things are tricky.
Yeah, that was because
that's a move, man.
There's a lot that I love about him. And I mean, when she's ready to sneak off, she's having a very bad day.
Yeah,
year,
that's fair.
week,
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And he really naturally breaks the ice. I mean, this is a combination of an actor delivering lines and the writer setting it up this beautifully. But the whole scene comes together. Their date, all of it feels beautifully natural. And I called him Aiden from Sex and the City at one point because he's such a good guy. And you're like, man, I'm watching a main character go through a lot of growth, and you're too nice a character to be near it.
I also I hate that we're mentioning this last because I don't think it's like a save the best for last, but it was a really good point of the show. The brother.
Yeah.
Man.
They're gender flip John Cusack.
Yeah. So not only was the brother performed great and had a lot to chew on with kind of this subplot of, now he's an expectant father and his wife's
his fucking wake.
Pregnant.
Oh, man.
But he had so many moments where like he got to come in to Rob's life and tell her exactly how it's going, like in the most brutal way like ever, and like get away with it because he's a brother. You know?
Yeah.
Like he had this power to like say everything the audience was thinking and really just put her in emotional check.
Yeah.
In one of those straight out of the movie moments, like, hi, Rob.
You
fucking asshole.
I was so happy with that moment because I didn't see it coming. And it was so perfect. Like the big reveal and what leads him to that point. And man,
it was like Fun Rob. I totally didn't expect the Fun Rob episode.
Oh man, the Fun Rob episode is killer. Yeah. Every episode. I loved this show.
Everyone should go watch this right now. If you ever liked that movie at all, I mean, I get it. There are people that hated that movie. You're probably going to hate this show.
You're going to hate this show, and you're wrong on both counts.
Everyone else should go watch this right now just to reward this work.
Yeah.
Also, you 12-year-olds listening, because somebody takes their shirt off in here.
Is it Clyde? It's Clyde.
It's Clyde.
Actually, he does take his shirt off. Any 12-year-old ladies?
I will now sell 5 copies of the. Oh man! In the original movie, it was the Beta Band, and
I don't know what it was in this one.
Them, and I can't remember who it is in this one, but.
And also, "Walking on Sunshine" as the music that she does. I mean, not "Walking on Sunshine." It's that's Jack Black.
Yes, but their analog song they picked is great. Yeah, "Come on, Eileen" is a great analog to replace for that.
Oh, I forgot about "Walking on Sunshine." That was like the theme for that movie.
So instead of Katrina in the Wave, she throws on Dexy.
Dexy's Minute Runners. Anyway, yes, as Les was saying, this is a great show. It is one of the first great shows of 2020, and people should watch it.
Yep.
Oh, one last thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Last word.
Uh-huh.
I love the scene where she just looks at Charisse and she goes, "You want to sell 5 copies of that record?"
Mm-hmm.
And they put on some just like hipster chill hop thing.
Yeah.
And you see like all the yuppies in the store like, ooh.
Yeah, that's the
what
beta
is
band.
that?
Exactly. So in
That's
the
the
movie,
beta
they
band
do that
moment,
with the
yeah.
beta
Oh,
band.
okay,
Exactly
okay.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly that. They just update the record to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. And like somebody looks up and like, hey, who is this? Beta band. It's good. I know.
They did. That's all. That's all called. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm damn
Sorry,
I remember what
I
band
knew
it
we were
is.
talking
Yeah.
about the same thing.
The only thing I missed was because Simon's love interest was working at a different place. We didn't
get to
get
do the stiff little fingers.
the Green Day stiff little fingers
Yeah.
thing, which was such a great little nod. When she's like, it sounds like Green Day. And he's like, no, it's like Green Day. And someone looks up and says, is this Green Day? And they both give us a little smile at each other. And it's like that moment,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, you guys are perfect.
Yes.
And yeah,
That's Sarah Gilbert, right?
Yeah. There were a couple moments that were not in this like
Yeah.
that, but most of it, like most of my favorite moments for the movie are in this, and so many moments that are not in the movie are in this. Like it's so good.
They keep going
What?
with the season 2.
I hope so.
Well, I hope so.
Outside of the book?
Oh, I mean, well, they haven't gotten to the end. I mean,
Yeah.
Rob hasn't grown yet. She started to,
Yeah.
but I feel like they're gonna have to write some original stuff. But yeah, I feel like got to do a season 2.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't know if the show is on an arc to bring Rob and Mac back together or not. Like, I don't know if the show is in a reality where that ship has actually sailed.
Actually, I feel like the happy ending is her and Clyde getting back together, right?
I never want to see Clyde come back into it.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of want to see Clyde's happy life. Like
I was thrilled to see
Yeah.
Rob be single at the end of the season. That was
yeah,
growth to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know where they
Ooh,
go.
Lots to chew on.
All right, so the other Hulu show that I watched, and by watched I mean watched 2 episodes of, is Utopia Falls, which I have
Hunger Fame.
Yes. Oh man. So I described this as a mix of Hunger Games, Glee, So You Think You Can Dance, and Wayward Pines.
Yes. What if there was a post-apocalyptic Maze Runner trials, but it was a dance high school? And all the kids were competing to be the cultural ambassador of this weird enclave of the remaining humanity. From here forward, there are so many holes in the sci-fi world of this. I don't even know if it bothered you, Randy.
Oh no, I didn't care about the setting was ridiculous, and so I was
in the
just like,
first episode. So all these kids get invited to a school.
The
They're all in this-
exemplars.
Yes, the exemplars, and they're from the various.
they're from District 9 and
Yeah,
District 12,
District 9, District 12. There's a reform district.
yeah.
And these 2 hoodlum kids.
I mean, it could not have been more Hunger Games.
Oh yeah, and they get there, and of course, the first night, some of them all get invited to this secret party where they discovered the archive and Snoop Dogg and all of this stuff.
And two of the characters don't like each other.
I know,
But-
but they do like each other.
They do like each other.
Aww.
But from the moment they all go to the party, which is the huge like opening of the world in the first episode, because they're
Yeah.
going to discover that they're being lied to about the history. I don't know if it's not village style and that there are a lot of people alive outside of this city.
Right.
But it seems like they're definitely being lied to about the apocalypse here. And all these kids go outside for this party, and it's supposed to be like super dangerous. I mean, like super dangerous. And they all sneak out.
Yeah, they just
like
sneak
they all
out.
sneak out. Like
Yep.
no big deal. They all go to this party in the woods. It's not a big deal. And then they come back, and like the next day, there's other kids like, "Dude, did you go to that secret party last night?" I'm like, "It's not a fucking secret, is it?" Also, how did all of you get outside? Like,
Yeah.
how did you get outside
Yeah.
without dying
Yeah.
if the world is bad?
Who put up all these posters for Fight Club?
It's exactly
What about the
like-
rules?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they made a Fight Club. This show made me really miss Tower Prep.
Yeah.
Which was Cartoon Network, one of their forays, I think, into live action. Tower of Prep was a lot more fun than this.
But they're being called from these different districts not to murder each other with knives and bow and arrow.
They got to outdance each other.
They have to outdance each other or out-sing, and they sing these goofy maudlin songs that are clearly like the nationalist anthem of this new world, and then they dance to piano versions of music you will recognize.
And see, that's the other giant hole that makes this show. That's actually where the show came apart for me.
Yeah.
So they dance to. They're not like Westworld good versions, but they dance to maudlin versions of songs you recognize. But then when they find the archive with Snoop, the big conceit here is that a couple of these kids now have access to a history of music and culture that the rest of them have been denied.
So one of them becomes a rapper.
Yes, like immediately.
And they're all like, they all think he invented rap.
Yes. and so that's kind of neat, but they're all singing, so, like, they clearly have an oral history of this music.
Yeah.
Because you're all singing versions of it anyway.
Yes.
Like, it can't... it doesn't sustain it to have this stuff be this unknown and secret from these kids.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
The world building isn't that interesting. I don't care about the plot behind it. The characters are not that great. The musical performances and the dance, which could save it, are boring.
Yeah, which these kids can dance.
They've got talent. It's just they're not being allowed to do anything. So when they find this archive out in the woods that has all this other music and that thing, and it's like a computer library. And the voice of the computer library is Snoop Dogg.
And I'm telling you, from that moment forward, the only thing you want to happen on this show is for kids to come in and have Snoop tell them about rap.
That is all I wanted. Because it is not that the computer is voiced by Snoop Dogg.
It just is.
The computer is Snoop Dogg. Like they when they start dancing, he starts encouraging them to dance.
I never should have done that 23andMe, guys. Now I'm a computer.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is so bonkers, and I'm like, do you guys know the show you're making here? Like, are you making a joke? Because if you're making a joke, it's pretty funny. But if you're making a show, it's not very successful.
By the end of episode 2, I don't think they are making a joke.
I don't think they're in on it.
Incredibly hard on the sleeve, serious about all of this.
Yeah.
And I hope that it finds its audience, but it is very much not me. Now, if this had been Shannara with Glee songs, I'd have watched the fuck out of this. Like I'd have called up Dave Farabee and been like, just sit down right now, man. We are watching right now.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just not.
I'm very curious. Either you set a stopwatch when you watched this?
No.
Because I'm curious as how long before they did Don't Stop Believing.
They hadn't got to it yet.
3 minutes, 4 minutes into the first show.
But it'll be a shitty piano version.
I did not make it past the trailer with this. Man. You guys are stronger men than I.
So I watched the first episode because I interviewed Mags, one of the two kids from the
never mind. The show's awesome.
No, and it's fun and cute, and I recognize that, like, okay, this isn't really aiming at me, but it's lighthearted and fun. And then by the end of the second episode, I don't know. There's holes in the sci-fi for me that really bother me.
I watched the first episode, and by the end of the first episode, when they introduced Snoop Dogg the computer, I'm like, well, shit, I got to see where this goes from here.
Yeah.
At the end of the seventh episode, I'm like, no, I'm good. And the thing is, and like Les said, it's not that it's a bad show. It's just it feels like the CW's Hunger Fame. Like it's so clearly not for me. There's no point in me finishing it.
Hunger Fames.
Hunger Fames.
They're going to live forever. Not all of you.
That kid has no rhythm. He's going to die.
All right, so let's jump to our last show.
2 feet cloning accident.
Let's talk Duncanville.
Another Hulu original. Oh, not a Hulu original?
Honestly, is this on Fox or Cartoon Network?
This is a Fox. Yeah.
Animation domination.
Well, when I asked the Snoop Dogg computer, he started telling me about Fox, so I assumed that it was once on the Fox
You ever heard of
network.
this thing called Fox?
What y'all want to watch? Yeah.
So this is Mike Schur was involved somehow in the development of this, and I don't think he's involved as a showrunner, but it's like his name's on it. But it's Amy Poehler's deal.
Yeah, this is Poehler and Rashida Jones, right?
Rashida Jones is not involved. At least not in the credits.
That is from Garfunkel and Oates. What's her name?
Ricky Lindholm's in it.
Yep, Ricky Lindholm.
In the writing credits, at least, Amy Poehler and then Mike Scully and Julia Thacker are the people credited with it.
Yep, and her the other lead is voiced by Ty Burrell.
Yeah,
who is the dad. So
I guess he's just gonna play dads forever.
Yeah. Although part of me was like, Ty Burrell is just so much of a cartoon character. Like, why don't you just make the guy Ty Burrell? Although, especially in episode 2, we got to see some real fun stuff with the dad.
No. Rashida Jones is Mia.
What?
Yeah, the girl that Duncan has a crush on. Yeah, Poehler and Rashida Jones get to have.
Oh, you're right. There she is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's super involved in this.
She was further down.
There was a behind the scenes thing where they were talking about getting to bring back the you beautiful tropical fish. The whole
Oh, that's funny.
Leslie and Ann.
So this is about Amy Poehler is voicing the mom, and then also the son, and also another character, the principal or something like. But at any rate, it is about a sort of like an awkward teenage boy. His sister, his sort of weird parents, his dad, his ex-hippie rocker dad, and his parking enforcement meter maid mom, and their weird like. And there's another younger.
He has
girl,
like a
too.
whole. That's the sister.
Yeah.
But then there's like a whole cast of friends.
Yeah, it's
at
cast
the
of
school.
nerdy friends, and it's then the first one they go to like an EDM show, and the second one there's
And the girl played by Rashida Jones works at Papa Mom's Pizzeria.
Papa Mom's Pizzeria.
Papa Mom's.
There's some fun bits of writing here. Like when she comes up from Papa Mom, she's like, "Yeah, I'm taking them down from the inside." She's like, "I put my thumb in all the pizzas, not yours though." And he opens
Oh,
it.
wait.
No, I did, but
Yeah,
cheat
yours.
around it.
It was just a smooch in the middle of
Yeah,
it.
there's some great little bits like that. The sort of he's got a crush on this girl. Is a very tropey thing. Like a lot of it's tropey. The nerdy mom and dad, the kid who wants to drive, who impressed the girl. Like it's very tropey. I thought.
That thing with the driving, just real quick, is that what kids are doing now? They don't want to drive?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what my
why
kid.
would I do that?
Yeah, that's what my kid's doing.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's because I remember when
a
I was
flip,
that
right?
age,
Yeah.
it was like I'd
Yeah.
do
But
anything
there
to
was
get in
no
a
other
car.
way to have freedom. Like now you
Yeah.
can app on your phone and like a random stranger will take you anywhere, which that sounds terrible for children.
Yeah, it's a
right?
really bad idea. It's a really bad idea.
I just go outside and get into the next car, Dad. Gah.
You pay extra, you can get a full size van with candy. in it. Uber XL.
Oh my God. I wonder what Uber's kidnapping service looks like. How expensive is this? No, I'm not kidnapping you now. There's a surge.
Duncanville surge pricing.
So there's the thing that got me about this is Duncan has like an active imagination. So we get his dreams and like his little bit of hallucination
Yes,
stuff.
I think the first episode kicks off with him climbing the Dawn Wall, like free solo climbing.
Yeah.
and like,
and being the best free climber in the world.
by far,
Yeah.
like he kicks Alex on.
And then sharing a kiss with Wonder Woman until Batman interrupts him.
Which I thought was a funny Will Arnett dig.
Yeah, Will Arnett's everywhere.
I Googled all over the place to see if they got him to do that line.
I can't see him in the credits, but sure
I
as
think
hell
it's
sounded
somebody
like him.
doing his voice.
Okay, because it sounded
Yeah.
a lot like him. But I thought I didn't fall in love with it, but I liked it well enough to watch the second episode, and I thought the second episode was stronger.
Yeah, I still need to watch the
Yeah.
second episode. Y'all both said it was better.
It's got
than
a
the
little
first.
bit of Family Guy. Like they love their pop culture nods and their weird like Alice Cooper shows up to help him
Yeah.
clean his garage up, basically. In the second episode, that would happen in Family Guy too. They would get famous people to be like just random people in their lives.
Oh, and this thing with the garage is so great as Ty Burrell goes through like every piece of Hard Rock Cafe memorabilia you can imagine. Like he's got it all. Bootsy Collins boots. He's got the guy from Guns N' Roses' top hat.
Slash's top hat.
Slash's top hat. What is it? Peter Frampton's talk box. He's like, don't make me throw this away.
There's a lot of great referencey stuff, and that's where I started to see the smarts in this. It's like there's some really good pop culture
It
references.
was cute enough, and it had enough heart in the first episode that I liked it, but I don't know that I don't have a spot open that I was looking for this.
I didn't laugh a lot at it. I laughed a little bit.
Yeah.
But the end of the first episode, when who comes by? It's not Hawkman. Someone comes by to like fly him away.
Oh no, and he's got it's Sully.
Yeah, Sully.
Captain
Grab
Sully.
onto my mustache.
And Sully flies away with him, and he's like, "Am I dreaming?" He's like, "No, those mushrooms just kicked in.
No, edibles.
And those edibles just kicked in."
You should ask about the strength of the cookie.
I about died.
Yeah.
That was a great way to go out on.
Yeah,
And
similar to Snoop in Utopia Falls, we got Wiz Khalifa, who is Mr. Mitch at the
Yeah.
school.
Oh yeah, when you guys were saying that, I was like, that sounds like something else
There's
I
a lot
watched
of good
this
voice
week.
talent here.
Yeah.
You had mentioned Ricky Lindholm from Garfunkel and Oates.
Yeah.
Betsy Sodero, who has been in a lot of shows I don't like. She was in Disjointed, but she's always funny.
Yeah.
She is just this wild card comedian.
Could I peek at this? Who's that heavyset comedian with the beard? You guys know this guy.
Cherry.
Zach Cherry.
Zach Cherry.
Yeah, Zach Cherry is so funny.
Yes.
And you hear him and you're like, I know exactly who that is.
So one of the things that I think that will keep me, I'm not sure if I'll keep watching this or not. There's a lot of TV, but I don't even watch Bob's Burgers anymore. But Bob's Burgers slowly but surely did the thing Simpsons did, where they built up a cast of characters and they built up a story and they built up a history for this family and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see the foundation is there for Duncanville to do the same.
Yeah, for me to actually care about these people
Yeah.
and it not just be a Family Guy joke of the week.
Yeah.
I also think some of the animation is really smart. Like some of the jokes that you see just like hidden in the visuals, you definitely go, wait, was this in the script or were the animators playing around and they were like, hey, we have a funny idea?
Right.
Because I feel like that's why I think so many people like Rick and Morty is the animators throwing in just as much stuff.
Yeah.
Or the writers giving that to them, but there's just as much visual information as you get stuff in the story and the characters.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Duncanville's got some rewatchability buried in it.
Oh, I bet it does.
More than I pick up.
Well, and I also think one of the things that's tricky with animation is when you get these shows, you're like, why is this animated? I did not have to ask why Duncanville was animated.
No.
Like, you cannot make the cast to be this like esoteric and weird. Maybe like the Drew Carey show or something can pull that off.
Grab onto my mustache.
But definitely the grab hold to my mustache moment, like you can't pull that off unless you're the Good Place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I dug this and I will probably watch some more. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely a welcome addition to animated shows.
Man, how awesome would that have been if Tom Hanks would have paid us to talk about that Captain Sully joke for as
It's
long as
true,
we did?
right? Yeah.
You
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Les. Thank you, Kyle.
Well, thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom Hanks.
Yes.
He's not gonna answer, but he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Out in the universe, you can feel it.
Yeah. That has been our time for this week. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back next week with more. And until that time,
TV Dudes out.
TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith.
to find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.